And we are back here with another video. Welcome to the Football Expert. My name is Reikley Ruby, and today we will be looking at the Colorado 2026 football prediction. Before I get into it, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach my goal of 6,500 subscribers by the end of June. We are well on our way there, only about 140 away, so help me hit that goal. Like the video if you enjoy this comment down, or like the video if you enjoy it down below, and comment your thoughts and opinions as well. Let me know what you think about the Buffalo schedule. What do you think Deion Sanders will do this year? It's a new year. It's a new Deion and year number 4 of the program. Been a good year, been a bad year, a good year, and a bad year again. Is this going to be another good year? Is this a trend? We'll see as we get into today's video, but make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below so you never miss another video. It's completely 100% free. So let's get into today's video. So looking at this Colorado team, I think it starts by looking at Juju Lewis, the redshirt freshman quarterback after sitting a year behind the Liberty transfer and Caden Salter. Well, Lewis had a very interesting year as the redshirt quarterback. In his few appearances, 55% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no interception, 589 yards, and negative rushing yards. Those 4 games were against Arizona State. Played the majority, I believe mostly all of it, against West Virginia, and a good bit against Arizona, and a couple of passes against Delaware. Then you have the running back, Richard Young, the transfer from Alabama. Very interesting player to see how he does, because obviously didn't make it out of Alabama, was a redshirt junior. So I'm interested to see how he looks going into this year. Then you also have the transfer wide receiver from Texas, the DeAndre Moore Jr. I'm most excited about him in the wide receiver core, because he had 532 yards last year, averaged 14 yards a catch, and 4 touchdowns. So I think that he is going to be a much important part of this offense. And then when you look at the defense, you just got a lot of transfers all over the table. Not as many transfers as last year, but almost everybody has transferred in at one point or another. The entire defense is just full with them. But the offense does not have as many transfers. So we're starting to see maybe a little bit less Deion relying on the transfer portal, getting some college guys and keeping guys in the program. Particularly and obviously most seen with Julian Lewis. As I mentioned last year, 3-9 last year overall, 1-8 in the Big 12, and just honestly a disappointing year. You had the 1 win against Iowa State and then a win against Wyoming and Delaware, but just a disappointing year overall. No doubt about it. I think no Colorado fan would disagree with me if I said it was the most disappointing year in quite some time. But let's get into today's schedule. First game is a road game against Georgia Tech. If this game was at Colorado, I'd be a little bit more intrigued to possibly pick the Buffaloes. It was a 7-point game last year, and I believe Alberto Mendoza, Fernando Mendoza's brother, was just named the starting quarterback at Georgia Tech under Brent Key. And honestly, I like Brent Key. I think he is a fabulous head coach. And I think that he's doing great things at Georgia Tech. And because of that, I'm going to have to stay with the Yellow Jackets in this matchup. I think they win both of the home and home series. Then you head back home to play Weber State. Easy win here. Weber State, not a great program. I should say not a great. They've had moments. They've had moments in the FCS ranks of being a good school, but I think that's going to be a win there. Then you have the road game against Northwestern. I think you get a win here. I'm just not sure what to think of Northwestern at the moment, because Northwestern is in just such an odd scenario, because I think that they've had some good things. They've had some bad things. And after Pat Fitzgerald left due to the scandal and everything that went on there, I just think that this team has a lot of growth still to come. Honestly, last year they finished 11th in the Big Ten. 7-6 overall, 4-5 in the Big Ten. So definitely a better year than Colorado. But I also think that this is a team in Northwestern that had just some better pieces that they don't have this year. And obviously in 2024 was a tough year, going 4-8. But then the year before that, you did have a good year going 8-5. So I don't know what Northwestern team I'm getting. So I'm going to actually lean towards Colorado, even though it's a road game. I think that the offensive firepower Colorado is going to be good. And I don't think that Northwestern has the defensive firepower to be able to match the offensive firepower of Colorado. So I have Northwestern losing this game. Then a home game or a road game, my apologies, against Baylor. Baylor, I just think, is the superior team. I just think that Dave Aranda, he's going to be coaching for his life. And don't get me wrong, I could very well see Colorado winning this game. But with it being on the road, I put it at a pretty 50-50 matchup, and I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to Baylor after I gave the benefit of the doubt to Colorado against Northwestern. So a loss there in Waco, but that game could go either way. Then a home game against Texas Tech, a very interesting matchup here, especially if you have a good start to the season, beat Georgia Tech or beat Baylor, beat Northwestern and Weber State. If you're 4-0 coming into this game, it could be a very interesting matchup against a Texas Tech team that it just doesn't look like Brendan Sorsby is going to be the quarterback at Texas Tech this year. It just doesn't look that way. So I think that Texas Tech is not going to be as good as they once predicted. But at the same time, I do think that Texas Tech is in a better spot than Colorado. I just trust them. Their defense is still going to be superb. Joey McGuire is still a good head coach. Not everything falls apart just because they don't have Brendan Sorsby. But are they going to win as many games? Probably not. Then a bye week and then a home game against Utah. And this one I went really back and forth with. I really, really did go back and forth with this game. And I think that it's a matchup in which you're just going to see a team that has a lot of possible growth in Colorado if they could win games like this. If they win a game against Baylor or win a game against Georgia Tech or win a game against Utah, those are the types of games that they need to be able to win to have a good season. And I like Colorado, but I don't think that they beat Utah defensively. I just love Utah's defense. The hiring of their defensive coordinator. Like, remember, Kyle Whittingham did not leave or got left kind of scooted out of the Utah head coaching position. It wasn't because Michigan just poached him. He didn't technically get fired because he was there for 20 years and was such a staple of the program. But I think Kyle Whittingham was kind of pretty much done with coaching, but just got the offer of Michigan, took that up. So I think Utah is still in a good position, though I do think they lose some pieces, obviously, to Michigan, and some of those are critical. But I do think that Utah is just the better team, and I trust their defense in a game like this. Then a road game against Oklahoma State, another very interesting team that almost is completely made up of transfers from North Texas. Drew Mestemaker, the quarterback there now, and the whole North Texas team now at Oklahoma State. I'm going to give the edge to Colorado just because I don't know what Oklahoma State looks like. I just don't know. So I'm sorry, Oklahoma State fans, but I just don't have enough information to go off of that right now. I just not going to pick you guys, but at the same time, very well could see a win. Kansas State, I think this is another W. This is at home. Colin Klein, another first-year head coach at Kansas State. I think that Kansas State, after Chris Kleinman retired this past year, is not in a bad position, but I don't think they're in a great position. So I would like to see where it is at in the future. But right now I'm going to give the edge to Colorado. I think this is going to be a bit of a bounce back year. So I think they're going to get a win there. Then a road game against Arizona State. I think that they get a win here. I went back and forth on this game against Kenny Dillingham and his crew. But with no Sam Levitt at Arizona State and no Jordan Tyson, I just there's some question marks now because when coaches lose players like that, is it because the coach is going to be able to reload? Is Kenny Dillingham going to be a good head coach? Or is he going to fall apart now that he doesn't have Scadaboo and Tyson and Levitt? So that will be interesting to see. Then a home game against Houston. If you've watched my Houston prediction, I am really, really high on Houston. I think Houston is a fantastic team. And even though this is a home game for Colorado, I think Houston is just a superior team. I think there's a loss there. Then a road game against Cincinnati. I think that this is a win. I don't love Scott Satterfield. I don't love the situation that Cincinnati is in right now. I don't think the quarterback position is in a great spot, even though Brendan Sorsby would have put him in a worse spot if he was still at Cincinnati. But I still think Cincinnati. I don't love Scott Satterfield, and maybe he'll prove me wrong. He's had a decent tenure at Cincinnati, better than I expected, for sure. Then a home game closes out the year against UCF. And I'm going to give the edge to the Buffs here in this one just because it's a home game. But this game with Scott Frost back at the helm at UCF could be a very interesting end-of-the-year matchup, especially if Colorado gets some wins against Georgia Tech and Baylor or against Utah. Has some wins there, then it could really mean something in this game. But I have Colorado going 7-5. I know it's kind of middle of the path, but I think that at the end of the day, this is a good team in Colorado, a team that is at least improving. I think it's improving. I think it's heading in the right direction. I know it was a bad year last year, but I think it's trending in the right direction, trending up. So as always, click one of the 2 videos down below on be a playlist of all of my college football predictions, and hit the subscribe button up here as well. Help me reach that goal of 6,500 subscribers. Completely free for you to hit that subscribe button. And as always, have a great rest of your day. Bye.